When in the midst of sorrow, you can see her when looking down. Of a brighter day, tomorrow will bring. You hear the voice of reason telling you this could never be done. No matter how reality seems, just hold on to your
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome to tonight's show, Life with Shenita. I am Shenita Connolly, and I would like to welcome you all from wherever you are for a conversation about friendship and the value of it. I actually have some amazing people who happen to be very, very, very important people in my life to share this segment with. And so we are going to share it in two segments. I have just a few of some pretty cool people, not to mention, that will be joining me for the first 30 minutes, and then another set of really cool people that will be joining me for the second set. Let's just go right into the show because for the sake of time, I don't want to waste too much time. But the ultimate goal for this show is to help people see and overcome life's challenges. We all have them. We all have had them. We may be currently having them. We may have them in the future. But even with those challenges, we want people to encourage people to overcome their challenges with an optimistic perspective. And so tonight we're going to talk about, as I mentioned, friendship and the value of having friends in our life. And particularly during this COVID-19, we've had to be pretty creative in keeping those relationships stimulated during this time that we don't freely have to be together and commune as groups or even one-on-ones. So I am excited to introduce to you all, and I'm going to introduce the ladies first because I always think that ladies are first, although we have an amazing gentleman in the group as well. But I'm going to introduce these amazing women to you all. And I want to first introduce someone who knows me the longest in this particular group. We grew up together, actually 2 houses from each other. So I didn't grow up with sisters, but I had the opportunity of having bonus sisters growing up. And so the first one that I would like to introduce to you all is Ms. Jennifer Washington Taylor. Welcome. And next, I would like to introduce to you all Michelle Williams, who knows me probably the longest, the next longest. Michelle Williams, welcome.
Hello.
And next, we have Miss Delphine Brown, who knows me the longest. Welcome. And last but certainly not least of the females, we have the baby of the bunch, Miss Katasha Bird. Welcome. And certainly, we cannot leave out the king, Mr. Windell Limitless Hollins. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to have you guys to be a part of this show today. And I'm grateful, more grateful to have you a part of my life and to be able to call you my friend as we discuss this very important topic about friendship. So before we get started, I want you guys to introduce yourselves to the audience. So we'll start out. Miss Taylor.
Hello, my name's Jennifer Taylor, and I am a lifelong friend of Shenita. We grew up in the same neighborhood, a house away, playing in diapers, and now we're just grown women now and got our life. I'm so happy and proud of her. I am a mother of 5, a grandmother of 3, and a wife for 30 years.
Woo,
God is good.
that's awesome.
Yes.
And from Pensacola, Florida.
And from Pensacola, Florida. Yes. Pensacola.
Yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And next, Michelle, would you introduce yourself to the audience?
I sure will. Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Williams. I have known Shenita since I think 2003. We met in church and have been friends ever since. I am the mother of 3 daughters. I live on the Indiana-Illinois border. I'm an educator, and I'm glad to be here.
Yes.
Awesome. Welcome. And next, Delphine Brown.
Hi, my name is Delphine Brown. I probably about the same time Michelle met her in church, and she was. I met her through Youth Under Construction with my son, and I'm originally from Lauderdale, Florida. I've been here in Atlanta since 2000. Since 1996, so I consider myself an orange peach. And I'm a grandmother of 3. I have 1 son, lovely daughter-in-law, Shay, and Ronnie and Shay. And I'm really glad to be here because Shenita is a friend among friends. I have grown to love her and love her cooking.
And this is my jazz buddy. Yes, so welcome. And last but certainly not least, Katasha Bird, the baby of the bunch.
Hi, everybody. My name is Katasha Bird. I have been knowing Shenita since 2016. I met her through the person I would like to call Captain Genius because he is not always right, but he's never wrong. But of course, she has definitely been an asset to my life, a great friend to have. I moved to Georgia by way of Louisiana, but I'm actually from a very small community there called Clayton, Louisiana. So good to meet everybody.
Welcome, welcome. And last but certainly not least, our king of the bunch, Mr. Windell Limitless Hollins.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Windell Limitless Hollins. I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio. Now live in the great city of Atlanta, Georgia. Since this topic is friendship, a couple of things about me. My number 1 friend is my lady, Denise. She is my heart, my soul, my everything. And she's encouraging me to be the best that I can be. I've got 4 children, Jasmine, Jason, Grace, and Gerald, and I've got 6 grandkids. I am the president of Limitless Hollins, LLC. The whole goal of my organization is to empower Black Americans to circulate dollars amongst ourselves. Right now, we only circulate dollars 1% of the time, where other groups circulate it 10 to 15% of the time. I met Shenita, this great lady, at St. James Live, the #1 jazz club in Atlanta, Georgia. She was helping out WCLK. As you know, Shenita is not only a friend, but she's always there to help any cause that she believes in. So I'm grateful to know Shenita. The value of our friendship is not only personal, we're growing it professionally also. So thank you.
So grateful to have you guys tonight. And we want the audience to understand the importance of friendship and value their friends wherever they may be. We realize that friends come and friends go. And I'm going to just share a brief definition of what friend is defined to be. A person whom one knows and whom one has a bond of mutual affection, typically exclusive of sex and family relations. So that means you're not intimately involved with the person and they're not blood related to you, but you have a bond with those individuals for whatever the reason may be, and you value that bond. So I appreciate having you all in my circle of my life. We may not talk every day, we may not see each other every day, but we can pick up wherever we have been and just continue to go and support each other when needed. And that I know for a fact. I was telling Katasha earlier when I was, thought to be breast cancer was gleaming or gloomy in my life. I remember Jennifer met me to do the biopsy, and it wasn't a question whether, she was coming to support me. She was right there. And so, friend, that's when we think of friends and we think of value, people who are in your life during the good times, the bad times, they're there to support each other. And I can honestly say that you guys have been that to me, and I hope that I have been that to you, because I think it should be two-way street. And so let's kind of talk about what you define friendship as. Let's start out, Jennifer. When you think of friendship or the value thereof, what do you think? What comes to mind?
Friendship to me is like a marriage as well. I mean, it's that loyalty, that trust. And just like you said, we may not talk for months, but we can go right back where we started, where we stopped. And it just moved like a smooth beat, like that jazz beat y'all like to talk about. Friendship to me also is one that, hey, I can tell you my deepest secrets that I have, and you've told me yours, and it stays right there.
We're going to our grave with those. Don't you dare tell nobody.
To our grave, okay? Yeah.
And that's a good point, because over the years, as we've matured and grown,
Yeah.
we sometimes think back like, wow, I probably should have went to my grave with that one by myself. But since I told you, you better not go to your grave with it.
It would just be good to never tell anything on each other, because we know some stuff.
Yes, we do.
That we don't take.
So, yes, that's good, great point. So as we kind of feed off of that, Michelle, kind of, share with the audience, when you think of friendship, what is that? What comes to mind?
You know what, Shenita, one thing, I'm very blessed. I have several women that I can call my BFFs. A lot of people only have one or two people. I have several that I have. Most of my circle I've known between 15 and 30 years, and we're still friends. One thing I told my three daughters when they went to college, I said, make lifelong friends. That's very important. Your friendship is very important.
It is.
Yeah. And, it's like you said, it's one of these things where even with you and I, we can have a disagreement, but we can come back together as if it never happened. We don't have to discuss it. We don't have to ponder. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to talk about it at all. But we're right back to where we were before we had the disagreement.
Right.
That's friendship. That's real friendship. You don't hold on to anger and bitterness.
Right.
You let it go and you move on.
And it likens to the scripture, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, when it talks about love is. So when you love someone, there's that unconditional love. You may not agree, but you can't agree to disagree.
That's right.
Keep loving each other. And so that's the beauty of it as we mature and matriculate through this journey. I love that part of the relationships that I have with you all. And Delphine, if you would add to that and share with the audience, your perspective on, friends and the value of friendship.
Yeah, I mean, for me, because I've kind of grew up military as a military wife, ex-spouse, I've met a lot of people all over the world. And so even though we hardly ever really physically see each other, that friendship, that bond that we have, it will never change. We can catch up and get back together again and just start all over. And it just makes everything and everybody just, that union more sweeter,
Yes,
So yeah, no matter how long or how far you are from your friends, you can always bring that bond back together again.
absolutely. I love it. And Tasha, share with the audience, your perspective on it.
When I think about friendship, I think about Colossians 3:12-14, but I'm just going to keep it simple. It just says to clothe yourself in compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience, and also forgiveness. And I think a friendship has to have those particular values. They have to have those core values. And so it's for me, that's what a friendship is. That's what it holds in that relationship. And so that's what it is to me.
Awesome. I love the word patience, because sometimes we are impatient, and I know I've been guilty of that. With many people over the years, impatient, and I had to learn. You must be patient with people because people are not where you are. They didn't grow up where you grew up. They didn't learn what you learned. And so you have to be patient with them wherever it is that they are on the journey if you value them. And you all can grow together. So thank you for sharing that. That was good. And Windell, will you share your perspective?
Yeah, to add on what all these beautiful ladies have said, to me, a friend is someone who loves you enough to hurt your feelings. I mean, they're not someone that's just going to go along. They're going to say the things that you need to hear, which may not be what you want to hear, but they're looking out for your best interests. And that's what I need in my life, and that's what I have in my life, is people who care enough to tell me the truth about myself and not just go along with what I'm saying. In addition to that, a friend to me is, and this is just from where I grew up in one personal experience, somebody that's you're in a situation where literally, if you leave, your friend will die. You stay because either both of you are going to die or both of you are going to get out of there. That's true friendship to me.
Awesome. And I can honestly say again that you guys are true friends. And I remember, Wendell, you and I had a conversation one day about a particular topic related to you, and I shared my thoughts on it, and you thanked me for that.
Mm-hmm. I remember that. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I still appreciate that. And I'd applied your advice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So,
no, I'm just kidding. I didn't cry.
But if you did, it's okay too, right?
It is. Hey, God gave me the tear duct too. We're cool.
That's right. So, let's go a little step further. Ladies, I know what are some of the benefits of friendship as it relates to mental and emotional health? Michelle, can you share, when you think of your friends as a benefit to your mental and your emotional health, what comes to mind? What would you need, or what would you give as a friend, and what would you need from a friend?
I think the most important thing you need and what you can give is a listening ear. We don't always have to have an answer for our friend, but sometimes just listen. Because being individuals, we have to understand that everybody, including our friends, are not going to agree with everything we think they should agree with. Sometimes people, especially friends, want you to tell them what they want to hear rather than what the truth really is. Therefore, that listening ear makes all the difference in the world.
Absolutely. I oftentimes think about my friend Cassandra, who will be on the next segment. she actually came over and she would just sit with me after Winston passed away. And she wouldn't do anything. She wouldn't say anything. She just came and sat with me because she knew mentally I was just not there. I just needed her to be there and be present for me. So you're right. Just sometimes just being present in a person's life. And so, Delphine, when you think of the spiritual aspect or benefit of a friend, what comes to your mind? What you're able to give to a friend and what you need from a friend spiritually?
Totally agree with Michelle. You know, sometimes that listening ear or just a prayer partner to touch and agree with you on certain, it's just that person just to sit there with you. Sometimes just not a word. You don't have to say anything. And that prayer partner just, or just somebody to be there, to hold your hand, just to be there, you know, that's your spiritual touching and agreeing with what you have commonality.
Awesome. I agree. Sometimes, you know, I will call someone and they may say they're going through this and that, and I will ask them, can we pray? And I will stop right then and we will pray together. And I need that. You know, sometimes I need that from people, and I'm certainly willing to give that. Not only being present, but making sure that when they can't pray for themselves, I'm going to pray with you. I'm going to touch and agree with you on whatever the issue is, that God shows up in a mighty way as a solution to whatever it is that you're going through. So, Katasha, when you think of
sometimes words.
Katasha, when you think of
when I think of what? I'm sorry.
Financial benefit of a friend, what you might need and what you can give. What comes to mind financially, the area of benefiting a friend?
Okay, so for me, it would be friends with businesses, giving them your financial support. All you can do is what you can do. So even if you just give a little, it's still support. And so I think for me, financially, it comes when our friends have dreams of starting their own business. We know they have gifts, and that's one way of showing them that we believe in them, is to show them financially, regardless of where we are. They're not asking you to overdo it. Just do what you can.
Mm-hmm. That's good. And you said something, whether it's small or large, do what you can. And we talked about this earlier.
Do what you can.
Even you may not be able to do what John can do, but you can do what you can do.
Right.
And as friends, we should be grateful for whatever that is, that little bit or that big bit, whatever that is, we should be grateful for that. And Jennifer, when we think of the physical benefits of a friend, you know, what comes to mind in terms of that physical piece, the benefits of a friend in the physical realm?
With me, the physical realm of being supportive, you know, a lot of times I'm going to piggyback off Michelle and Daphne. When you are there, no matter what, and just like you said, it could be in a place where I don't need you to say or preach to me or tell me what I need to do. Just to know that you there, and you there to just be there with me. That's just a true friend to me. I'm not, hey, not judgmental. Physically, I don't want to say anything to a friend that I know is gonna down your spirit, or if anything, I want to boost you up in any way I can through, and the most powerful way of doing that is through conversation, of listening. And the most powerful way is praying you through whatever it is. Hey, it could be a business. I'm with this gonna blow up with you, and I'm so happy for you, and being there for you, and whatever it is. When you had youth under construction, hey, that, I mean, with that, we were there, we worked it, and a lot of times financially, the money wasn't adding up like it was supposed to. But hey, this is your dream, and I want to help you with that. And we, just knowing that no matter what, I'm there, that your friend is there for you.
That's awesome. Awesome. And Windell, because I know we're getting close to our time, and that's what, it's always so difficult. But Windell, when you think of, and we've spoken to all four of those areas, but when you think of the benefit of a friend, just in general, what comes to mind for you?
In general, a friend for me is somebody who I can just count on. Someone that I don't have to worry about has my back. I don't have to worry about being anybody but just totally raw with them about myself. And I can share secrets. I can take off what I call the mask. We all have some kind of mask that we wear in public, but I can be my private self and be the man in the mirror and share who I truly am and know that my feelings won't be discarded, but they'll be appreciated and I can get honest feedback. That's what, in general, a friend is to me.
Well, I want to thank you guys, and I want to say, because a lot of times we don't get a chance to apologize to people if we've offended them and things of that nature. And I am just that person who I've grown to know that if I've ever offended you or when I've offended you, I want to say I apologize because, many times we're growing on this journey. We're growing and maturing. And so as we grow and mature, we learn better. And when we learn better, we do better. Yeah. And so when you value people, you want to make sure that they know from the bottom of your heart that you are apologizing for any misunderstanding, any wrongdoing, anything that may have seemed intentional. I know that I can be spoiled and can be headstrong. And I appreciate those who know how to deal with me. They know how to jack me up if I need to be jacked up, and so I just want to say, let me apologize for any time that I've made my friends feel some kind of way on this journey, because I think that it is important for us to value the people that God sends in our lives so that they can continue to grow with us. So I appreciate you guys for being who you are in my life. And I want you to know that I value you as individuals and collectively. And I pray nothing but blessings on you guys. And I thank you for sharing this time, this platform with me this evening as we talk about friendship. And hopefully people will begin to evaluate their friendships with others, and they will begin to mend wounds where they may be broken or things that may not be just right. They will go back and set the record straight so that they can continue the journey, because life is too precious and tomorrow is not promised, as we all know. And particularly with this COVID-19, we know how devastating it has been to so many family members. And so I just want to make sure that my friends know if I had $1 million, you would get a car. And Jennifer, you would get a car. And Katasha, you would get a car. Whatever that thing is that you need, if I could afford to do that thing, and even on the level where I am now, you guys know if I can afford to do whatever you need, I'm there. But I'm just speaking on a big scale. If I could afford it, it's yours. Yeah. So thank you for being such an asset in my life. I love each and every one of you guys. And to each of y'all.
Thank you.
Love you too.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So you guys have a wonderful evening and know that I love you. Yeah.
Love you.
Love you all too.
Love you too.
Take care.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, ladies.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Wendell.
Bye-bye. It's good seeing all of you.
Wendell,
First one day.
he helped home, didn't he? Take care.
Until next time.
Michelle, good to see you.
You too, Jennifer and Dippy. I have got to see you all later, okay?
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
was trying to, let's see who I'm trying to remove. Whoop, whoop. There we go. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. So thank you all for watching that first segment. I had not planned to be emotional, but when I think of friendship and I think of the value of friends, I just get that emotional. So yes. So we have a new group that's coming in, and thank you, Katasha. Let's see. I have the privilege and the pleasure of having my next longest friends join me, Miss Robin Watson. Welcome.
I guess I'm not in the screen, huh?
Over just a little bit. There you go. And my next oldest friend, Miss Debra Warren. Welcome, lady.
Hello.
And we have my dear friend, Kawana Ragland. Hey, Kawana. And I have my other dear friend, Cassandra Wayans. Hey, Cassandra. Welcome, ladies. Welcome. So glad to have you guys. Hopefully you guys are doing well. I was waiting for one more friend who happens to be a male friend, and I know he's working. He's out in California, so hopefully he'll join us. Whenever he joins in, we'll add him to the group. So welcome, and thank you guys for joining us. So we've been talking about friendship, and we've been talking about the value of friendship, and not everyone can say that they have friends who are like brothers and who will stick closer than family members. So I am grateful to have you guys. I'm grateful not only to have you here tonight, but to have you as a part of my life. And I'm gonna try not to get emotional, because when I look at Sandra and Kawana and Debra, especially, over the journey of losing Winston and how close and how committed those ladies were in my life, I get emotional with that. So I just thank you guys, and we're just gonna allow you guys to introduce yourselves to the audience, and we'll start with Robin, if you would share.
Hello.
Introduce yourself.
I feel kind of lucky because I have several friends on here. I have who's up under me, Debra, who's my college roommate freshman year. And well, I guess I better introduce myself. I got to follow the rules, right? So my name is Robin Watson, and I am from Pensacola, Florida. I have known Shenita a long time. I don't even know how long it's been, but it's been over 30 years. So that's a long time. And I really can consider her a friend.
Yes. I thank you. And Debra?
Okay, my name is Debra Warren. I am also from Pensacola, Florida. And I met Shenita in grade school. So it's probably been over 30 years as well. And that was at St. Anthony, St. Joseph, long time ago. I am the mother of 3. And I have a son-in-law and grandmother of 2.
Beautiful boy.
That's 2 rambunctious grandsons, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Love them to pieces.
And
glad to be here.
Thank you. And Kawana?
Hi, everybody. I'm Kawana Ragland. Currently reside in Charlotte, North Carolina. Originally from North Carolina, but I met Shenita when I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, almost 20 years ago. In November, it'll be 20 years. And we met at the company that I'm actually still at almost 20 years later. But we met at work and became fast friends. And have been hanging tight ever since. Even with my move back to North Carolina, she is definitely one that we may not talk all the time, but when we do, it's like no time has passed. So,
thank you. And Cassandra, last but certainly not least.
Well, good evening. Thanks for having me. I am Cassandra Wayans, and I am from Calicut, Georgia. And Shenita and I have been knowing each other since the mid-90s, when she was working for, it's the TRICARE, when she, and then our daughters went to high school together. And so we just established a friendship, and then jazz partners and travel buddies, and so it's been good.
You know, when you said that travel buddies, it brought back the last trip we went on together, and I was in pain. I was in pain, and you wanted to go hang out that night, and I wasn't feeling good. And
I was gonna talk about that in my little friendship segment. Let me finish introducing myself.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm a mother of one, expecting my first granddaughter. And my daughter said my only grandchild. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, it's good to be on the panel with you ladies.
Yes. So if you want to go ahead and go into that little conversation, go ahead right quick and share that when you know, that friendship moment.
Yeah, so as we talk about the value of friendship, Shenita and I went, where did we go? Where we're in
Seabreeze Jazz.
Where we went? What was
Seabreeze Jazz Festival.
Seabreeze Jazz Festival.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, yeah, so we were at Seabreeze Jazz Festival, and the one evening we came back, Shenita was in pain. She was trying to push through. And I wanted to go, hang out with some of the other sisters we had met there. And so she was like, well, I really don't want to go. I can't, the pain level is intense. And so she said, well, you can go. And I said, well, I'm not going by myself, and I'm not going to leave you. And so, the night went on. And so next morning, and this is how true friends know what's going on. So next morning we got up. And I was walking around, and we was kind of distant. I was kind of distant. So she was like, what's wrong? I know something wrong with you. So she proceeded to talk about, what had happened the night before, and apologizing because she wasn't feeling well, and this and that and the other thing. I was apologizing. So, we kind of just forgot about it and went on throughout the day. But that's one thing about friendship, that you can note when a friend is not pleased, or if they're upset, or if something's bothering them, and you can say, okay, time out, what's going on?
Exactly. I appreciate that.
And we can address it and move forward.
Right. So just keeping with that, Robin, will you share a moment as it relates to a friend, and it doesn't have to be anybody here, it's just in general, a moment that you had to really reevaluate the friendship that you thought you had with someone?
Oh my God. That's a hard one for me, because I was just sitting here when you asked me to be a part of the show. I was just thinking that my circle of friends is so small that I actually talk to myself. It's just that small, because friendship to me is important. And people today don't value friendship like it should be. If I say I am your friend, I am definitely your friend. I've had a lot of instances which really I'd rather not put out here, where I thought that people were my friends, but when it ended up, they really were not friends. I consider a friend somebody that's like a brother or a sister, somebody that I can depend on. If you call me, if Deborah calls me, or you call me, or Tisha called me, or someone, Cassandra calls me and say, hey, I need this, but I don't have it. They don't have it either because they're calling me, but we get together and we go out and get it. That's what friendship means to me. But it's so hard for me to find people that value friendship the same way that I do.
Yeah.
So as far as friendships concerned, I have some that are back home that I've had for 20 years, 30 years. And like you said earlier, with the other group of people, we may not talk every day. We may not call each other every day, but I know if I have a situation or someone that I need to talk to, I can call them and talk to. I've had to back out situations where I thought people were my friends, but they really weren't. So
I appreciate that.
yes.
And Kawana and Deborah, and I can speak to you both together because and particularly you, Kawana, because you have walked through some major parts of my life over these 20 years that we've been together since 2000. Our partying days, our relationship days, where those relationships weren't so good, they weren't. And just so many moments over the 20-year span. Can you share with the audience how you value your friends? What does that look like in your eyes, valuing friends?
Yeah. So for me, it is, I'm a naturally like giving person. So I think my struggle was really recognizing true friends that I may value, but they may not value me as much. And you don't really realize that. But once you get to know people, then you can see the value. It's just, you have certain friends you can call and say some things to, and other friends you call for other things. But then I can say about you, Shenita, you are always the same, no matter what. But I did learn over the years to say no to Shenita because she.
Well, you're really good because that's really hard to do to her.
It is, but in a good way, and
in a good way, yes.
And I just appreciate, like, Shenita actually introduced me to at Zena, who actually ended up being with me when I bought my first home. I wasn't even thinking about buying a home at the time, and that just worked out completely. So, she don't meet any strengers, so which makes it easy. And my mom loves her to death. Like, she's like, "Oh, that's Shenita."
Yeah. And I love her. Yeah.
So it's just, I think, just understanding and making sure the value goes both ways. That you're valued, and you value your friends just as much.
Katasha and I talked about establishing rules of engagement in friendships early on, and a lot of times, we forget about, what are rules? Do we need to establish some rules?
Right.
So that people understand where we coming from, how we vibe, what we're feeling, what we don't feel, so that there's an understanding. And many times we don't do that. We just kind of let it happen and evolve. And I think, it's really good if we could sit down with people and say, here is who I am, naked and unashamed. I'm not perfect. I do this, I do that. I may say this, may say that. You may not like me, you may like me, or what have you, but here I am, And one thing about my people is we all do love from the heart. And these Libras, Robin and Kawana and myself, we get in trouble.
Yes, we do.
Because we are so giving, and it gets us in trouble many, many times. But as we've grown, it's gotten better. And so, I appreciate that. But I want to bring my friend Gamaliel in, because Deborah, I'm hoping she'll come back in shortly. But Gamaliel Oh, there she is. Gamaliel is know what happened. But how are you, sir? You're on mute. There we go.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
I am doing fine.
Well, welcome. And we're
I
glad
am doing fine. Can you hear me?
we can. We can hear you.
Yes, I am just happy to be here. I think your subject is a wonderful one. It's one to be studied on a personal level. You talk about friendship. I guess for me, the first question is, are you a friend, or what kind of? I've found that friendship with time, and it is not dictated by the other. It's a fostering of relationships that just happens to grow. It's like the fruit upon the tree. The seed is planted, and it just grows on its own. Once you've lived long enough, you can then look back over life and analyze who are your friends and who are actually acquaintances. But I think, for the most part, the most important thing that I've concerned myself with is what kind of friend am I to others. It's easy to have friends, but can you be a good friend? I don't know if you've touched on that, but that's important.
Oh, it's connection. But that's a good point. We want friends, but are we quality friends to others? And Katasha, let's see if Debra is she back? She's frozen in a frame, so I'm not sure. But Katasha, let's kind of chime into that, friendship piece that we talked about earlier. Valuing friends.
Mm-hmm.
Will you share?
I just feel like we shouldn't take our friends for granted. And we can show them that we value them by being there for them physically, giving them a good word when they need it. All of us present different qualities. There are different things about us that we just do well. And I think once we know what we do well, we can actually give that to our friends to help them do well in whatever their situation is. Definitely.
Absolutely. Debra, are you able to hear us?
I am. The weather here is kind of bad. So the internet is going in and out. So I'm getting kicked off.
Right.
Yes, I'm back. Thank you. Something happened. I just dropped off.
I think I may have a little lag.
Just another point that, I've looked, and some of my best friends are ones that I could truly say that I might not have the opportunity to talk to, but once every 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. The beauty of it is that relationship is probably some of the strongest relationships I have, where you can not communicate on a day-to-day basis, but you look up, then they are checking on you, or you have the opportunity to check on them. It might be 3, 5 years later, but if you need, they are there. They are there to give you spiritually, mentally, emotionally, whatever it is they need that others can't provide for you, and that's amazing. Some people you can see every day and associate with every day, and supposedly are friends, but I guess the real question is, are they really friends, or do you really need to quantify them as acquaintances or something less than that? Friend value is not based on money. Friend value is based on that relationship and what that individual complements you with.
Right.
The push, the drive, the emotional ability to go to them and tell them you're all, and without the fear of someone that can guide you, and you know that they have your best interests at heart.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
And if you are looking for that from friends, saying to them, others.
Awesome. And Deborah, I want you to add to
The
that.
other one last little piece with friendship that I will tell you, be careful. Yeah, be careful who your friends, who you call friends or who call you friends. Friends should elevate each other. We should lift each other up and move each other. Yes, now you can be that great friend that everybody comes to, that everybody looks up to, and you can feel good about everybody looking up to you. Everybody is getting something from you, and that's great. But you have to be able to receive something back so you too can grow.
Right. And thank
So
you for that,
there's a
Kamala.
quality associated with that friendship. It doesn't have to be balanced, but should be a benefit. Whatever is received should be a benefit. So you can both go. Yeah.
So, Deborah, will you add to that, please? The value of friendship
And I'll
from
give
your
it back
perspective.
to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Say that again,
And
Shenita.
thank you for inviting me.
Yes. I said, will you add to that, your perspective of friendship and the value that it brings?
Okay, so to me, the value that friendship brings is accountability. Someone that you can turn to whenever, and they will keep you accountable and you can keep them accountable. Having that unconditional friend, like Cassandra was saying earlier, someone that is there for you at all times, whether it be spiritually, emotionally, financially, someone that you can depend on and that you can go to in that time. And in the earlier segment, someone said, they don't have to even say anything, but just their presence, being there with you, knowing that you have their support is what a friendship means to me.
And I can honestly say, everybody that's been here this evening has been supportive of me. And most of you guys know, and even the audience know, when Winston passed away, what a challenge it was for me, not only emotionally, spiritually, financially, physically. And there were times when I didn't know if I was going or coming. And I can honestly say that my friends here stepped in and was here to help me through those moments. And I so appreciate that more than you guys know. And, not just in words, but you guys all know if there's something that I can also do for you, that I'm there. You just have to say it. You have to ask me, and I'm there, just like I ask you. You guys know that. And I'm not afraid to ask, as Kawana said.
Definitely not.
Not indeed.
My mother did a good job at saying, ask. They can only say yes or no. Do not be afraid of a no. Ask the question, and then they have a choice. So I appreciate you guys more than you know for being a part of my life, correcting me when I needed to be corrected, supporting me when I needed to be supported, loving me when I needed to be loved, stepping away when you felt you needed to step away. Whatever those moments were over the journey that we've been friends, I appreciate all of it. And as I said to the other group, if there was a time that I offended one of you guys and never came back to apologize for whatever that was, I apologize to you personally right here today. And I ask you to forgive me for whatever that was. If you want to share it, you can. If you don't want to share it, that's okay too. And just thank you for just continuing to love me for me.
Absolutely.
And thank you for being who you are and being there for us.
Yes. And Deborah and Kawana, when I think of them, and I think of the 5-year journey, the most recent journey for me, and how these two young ladies, along with Stephanie Sanders and along with Linda at the time, were in my corner. I didn't have to think. I didn't have to worry. They were there, and more than anything, they just helped me just navigate through those difficult moments and times. And I can just picture today them being just present, being there. and it gave me so much comfort during that time. So I thank you guys and love you dearly. Robin, for being in the hospital and praying. I mean, all of you guys played such a major role and still continues to play such a major role in my life. And so I appreciate each and every one of you. Katasha.
And I appreciate you, Shenita. And I remember the time when he was in the hospital and I'm there to be there for you. I'm supposed to be there for you. And then we're walking out and I have my moment. And I'm like, okay. But she was strong there for me in my moment when I'm like, okay, I'm here. And it was just so hard. And I just had that moment and was like, how in the world are you doing it? And,
right.
And then she was there for me and I was able to regroup and get back in line and just be there for whatever she needed.
That's what friends are for, right?
Exactly.
I want to thank you for when you called me and said that you wanted me to be on a show and you told me what the title was. It stuck in my head. Friends. How many of us have them? It's not my head. It's her fault.
Yes. So how many of us have them real friends? So I just appreciate you.
Yeah, as we think about friendship and the value, I kind of pulled up some quotes to kind of sum it up. And going back to what Robin was saying when she was saying that she thought she had friends in a corner, but they really were not. This quote says, sometimes your circle decreases in size, but increases in value.
Yes.
That's good.
Another one says, good friends are like stars. You don't always see them, but you know they're always there.
I love it. I love it. And I wanted to share a few traits of a friendship that I thought was amazing too. Thank you for that, Cassandra. A true friend shows up. A true friend sees your blind spots and they love you anyway. A true friend is going to root for you. A true friend is not jealous. A true friend is not superficial. A true friend keeps you humble. A true friend makes your friendship a priority. A true friend wants you to be better. And a true friend doesn't disappear when someone better comes along. And when I read
all those traits,
I was like, these are awesome. And so when we think about that, that's a good way, including what Cassandra just said, to kind of value or see or reevaluate our friends. Do we have friends that are there for us? Are they there? They may not can be everything for, at every time for us, but do they possess some of those traits? You know what I mean? And so I can honestly say you guys possess those traits. And I'm the blessed one in the group. And so I thank you guys for being the wonderful women that you are. And Gamaliel, I thank him for being the man that he was. When Winston passed away and we became friends a year later, I appreciate him for being that real man that I needed at that moment in my life, and to this day that he still is. And so I just appreciate my friends. You guys are valued and I love you dearly. And thank you for being a part of this show. And I hope that what we've said resonates with the audience and that they will, reevaluate their friend list and become a better friend to their friends. And hopefully their friends will do the same for them. So I love you guys. And we're at 7:59 and we did it. So can we sing can we sing that song? Robin? Friends.
How many of us have them? Friends.
One week.
Katasha looks like y'all not on key. I love all you guys. Just like
you too. Thank you. Love you. Another off key too, right?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yes.
Enjoy seeing all you guys.
Yes. Love y'all. Y'all have a wonderful evening.
You as well.
Thank you guys.
Well,
Good night.
All right. Bye-bye.
So, Katasha, thank you for being my
Yes.
rock. Thank you for being
You're
my
welcome,
assistant.
honey.
Thank you for being a shining star like all of the guests tonight. So, you know, we have to do our
Hey,
drawing, so we'll prepare for that.
yeah, so actually we'll get ready for that and we'll definitely announce those winners tomorrow. Also, it's kind of hard being a manager and being on at the same time because I'm looking at the time going, it's 8 o'clock,
Right.
So yeah, it was great. And I do want to probably thank you for what you've done, for being there and everything. So yeah, we'll see everybody next time.
All right. Thank you. And you guys have a great night and thank you for watching.